All right, I know it's been a long time since I made a video, but I've been doing a lot, learning a lot. As you can see, the desk is a lot more dirty from the last video of the SFX Rival. But I just wanted to go over something with you, and that's how to clean a bolt carrier group right here. Some people have different ways of doing it, so I'm not saying I have the best way of doing it. This is just how I do it. I'm going to just go over a couple tools you're going to need real quick. First thing is some kind of brush, wire brush, and plastic too. Next thing, Hops number 9, y'all know, is my favorite solution for cleaning guns. It just works really well. And I usually apply it through a needle nose right here. Next thing you're gonna want is some rags of some sort. So right here, I got an assortment. I got cotton rags, and then I have these, like, they're very smooth, if that makes sense. Like right here, as you can see, it's very smooth. So when trying to get into like hard spaces that don't really fit too well, it's gonna work a lot better than the cotton rag. So you can use this or the cotton one, whatever works. I have these little Q-tip kind of things to help me get into spaces that I usually can't get into, or Q-tips work fine too, no worries. Then the other thing you're gonna need is just a couple tools, not anything crazy. But what I like to do is use a, see if I can find it here, hold on a second. There we are. It's like, what are these called? Needle nose pliers? Somebody correct me in the comments. I have autism. So, yeah, so this is a little needle nose. And that's pretty much it. And actually, the last thing I would say is just a microfiber cloth. These things are awesome for guns. They work so well to clean off the grease and whatnot. So let me just get into it. Enough time wasted. First thing you're going to want to do is take out this little pin right here. This pretty much holds your firing pin right here. So this is what goes through the entire bolt carrier group and hits the firing pin of a bullet. And I should have one right here. So pretty much that little pin, as you can see, that pops up, will hit this guy, and then the bullet will fire. So how I get it out, needle nose pliers, just take them out. Don't lose this. If you lose this, your gun will not work. So put it in a safe spot. Next thing you're gonna wanna do, drop the pin out. Firing pin, there you go. Put that to the side, don't lose that. Next thing you're gonna wanna do is retract the bolt, right? And turn this pin 90 degrees and it will come out. Now, if this is not coming out, it's because you did not do the previous 2 steps. This needs to be out for this to come out. And for this to be out, you need this pin to be out. So, next thing you're gonna wanna do, pop that bad boy out. Bada bing, bada boom. And I'll just show you real quick where the most gunk happens on the bolt. And correct me if I'm wrong. I believe this is the bolt carrier, and then this is the bolt. Right here, you can see the gunk buildup, right? There's a couple ways of getting this off. I found that using a jeweler's drill and a hard brush to get all of this off works incredibly well, instead of having to scrape off with like a hard knife or something like that. Next part that gets really dirty, inside here where the bolt sits, right? Down in there, right? You can see the carbon buildup. It's a pain in the ass to clean, I'm not gonna lie. If you guys have a really good way of cleaning this, please let me know, because I do struggle with that little part. I clean my rifles all the time. This is just an old bolt carrier group from a Bushmaster that my dad had. So we're just going to be cleaning that off. And as you can see, the carbon right here goes down there and it slams that carbon, pretty much compressing it onto the bolt. So what I like to do, take your number 9 or whatever your cleaning solution is and douse the whole bolt carrier group. Just put a couple drops all over it, right? Especially getting in this area, down in there. Make sure you get it in there, right? Also on the other side too. So down, let me get the good angle, there we go. Right down in there. So yeah, you want to get all that nice and lubricated with your hops number 9, or again, whatever cleaning solution you want. I like to put a little bit in the gas port, just so it can make sure that the gun functions nice and your gas is not getting all blocked up and whatnot. I'm gonna let that sit. On the bolt itself, put a lot of the cleaning solution on the top of it where all that carbon buildup is. A little bit here around, and just lube that all up. Nice, nice. Next thing, just a little bit on the firing pin, and then this pin is pretty important too. There we go. So let me take off this real quick. Hands don't get all dirty. So, and the microfiber cloth is great for cleaning out your hands after using the bore solution. So I'm going to real quick switch angles with you guys. So there's the Puppo little workspace. So my dad is a jeweler, so he does have a jeweler's bench, as you can see here. This is the jeweler's bench. I'm gonna post you guys up like so, and pretty much I'll show you how I clean bolt carrier group. Turn off the light for y'all. There we go. So as you can see here, first thing I'm gonna do is take the wire brush real quick. Just get off any excess that will come off easily. And you can already see that a lot of it is coming off. And if I get a little rag, for this I'm going to use the cotton one. You can see how dirty it is, but as you can see there's still gunk on there. So what I like to do, take your jeweler's brush with a hard wire brush, right? Get that bitch spinning. And pretty much this is gonna take off that gunk fairly easily. Now do watch your eyes, because sometimes these little bristles will fly out and hit you in the eye. Just be careful about that, but I'm gonna do this real quick. All right, and as you can see, it is, all that carbon is off. It's nice and shiny, smooth, right? So that is by far the best way that I have found to take off that carbon. If you guys have a better way, let me know. Again, this only took about a minute to do. Instead of just sitting there with like something to scrape it off is always so annoying. So let's change the camera angle. Get you positioned all right. There we are. Perfect. Plug the phone in real quick so it don't die. All right, so once we got that clean, right, we're gonna take the plastic part of our brush, right, and just scrub off the outside. Make sure that's all good. Take your microfiber cloth. Oh, I didn't show how I scrubbed it. Yeah, just down in, you wanna make sure that this is all clean real quick. Just get that all good. Bada bing, bada boom, man. All right, as you can see, the bolt itself is damn near perfect. There's a tad bit of carbon on there, not a crap ton, but compared to where we were about 5 minutes ago, this is perfect. So there we are. That's done. Next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna take the carrier group, or the carrier of the bolt carrier. Jesus Christ, I just keep saying the same thing. Okay, and we're just gonna scrub it down with the plastic part. And mind you, this bolt carrier group is pretty clean. It is just an older one that I purposely gunked up that to show you guys how to get that carbon off, because again, that's the part that gets the dirtiest inside of everything here. So make sure this is all clean. Get the inside as best as possible. There we go. Again, we're just gonna take the microfiber cloth and get all of the hops number 9 off of there. There we go. As you can see, microfiber cloths are awesome because they just make everything nice and clean again without having to worry about leaving some residue on there. Now, the best way to clean inside here, and that's where the bolt goes, right? And again, this is the best way for me. If you find somebody that does it better, link the video. I would love to see how y'all do that. So what I do is I take this little brush right here, right? I get inside there and I scrub the shit out of that thing, right? So just gonna scrub really good. There we go. And again, there is probably a really good way to get down in there to clean the carbon. I haven't found it yet. It's always kind of a struggle for me, I'm not gonna lie with you guys. But the best thing I can suggest is just getting a kind of a toothpick kind of device like this, right? Getting a cloth, putting it over top, and then trying to scrape off what you can get on the bottom there. Mind you, it's not going to be perfect. There's probably a tool out there that is perfect for this job. I don't have it, unfortunately. As you can see, carbon is coming off just a little bit. So I'm just going to keep doing that real quick, right? Something I'm going to hit it with just to see if we can get some more carbon off. This is this guy right here, gun scrubber. It's like a spray, so we're just gonna spray down in there. And this stuff does evaporate, as you can see. You ain't gotta worry about making a mess. Spray some in there. This part is not necessary. You don't have to have this to clean your bolt carrier group. It just helps. And again, we're just going to go in with another cloth. Bada bing, bada boom. There we go. And as you can see, a lot less carbon's coming off. There is still some carbon in there. Again, if you know a better way to get that out, great. But as of now, that's good enough for me. Some people are really nitpicky about that stuff. I do, on my newer ARs and whatnot, my bolt carriers are spotless because I put around 200 rounds and then I go and instantly clean it. And that usually gets off the carbon pretty instantly. Again, this gun is from like 10 to 15 years ago. So it's an older bolt carrier group, so by Bushmaster. So once that's all good and you got that clean, next thing I like to do, take another cloth real quick, all right, put it in there, and since we scrubbed it already, you're just going to take that same little small brush and just get the outside clean. Make sure there's no gunk. Make sure all that's all good. There we go. Next spot I like to hit real quick, and this is a pretty hard spot to hit. Again, just gonna take my little toothpick or whatever we're using, kind of slide it in here like a taco. Bada bing, bada boom. Get your little toothpick and just kind of see if you can get any carbon in the other side, because this is where your pin actually sits. As you can see, it gets kind of dirty. Not a crazy amount though. We'll go in again. There we go. So, oh, here we go. Got some carbon falling out of there. There we go. And I'm just gonna hit it with this guy again. Flush out that carbon. There we go. So once that's good, we can put the bolt carrier to the side. Focus on the pin real quick. Pin's straightforward, easy, just clean it. Usually the pin doesn't get too dirty. The most places right here, as you can see, there is some carbon, and that's from going down in here and hitting the back of right there. So clean that off as good as possible. I'll use the actual wire brush for this part. There we go. Bada bing, bada boom. I'll just put a little bit more number 9 on there. Roll that around and then give the microfiber cloth a good whirl. There we are. Take off this jacket. It's getting kind of hot. All right. So, oh shit. Make sure the camera angle's all good. All right, we're all good. All right, so the next thing you're gonna wanna do, after this is all clean, again, the pin too, just clean that off with the wire brush real quick. Next thing you're gonna wanna do is lube it up, and I'll show you the 2 things that I use. And mind you, you don't have to use this stuff, this grease right here. I just use it because it puts a lot of, again, heavy duty lubricant for high wear points. And if there's a better one, let me know. I know there's like the lithium, the white lithium grease. That stuff's awesome. This stuff works pretty good. And I'll show you here why it works really good. This is my DMR build right here. And I'm just gonna rack it, You hear how silent, you don't hear the spring. There's a little lubricant on there. Nice and smooth. And I put on the buffer tube where the spring is, I put a lot of that lubricant in there, and it pretty much makes the spring pretty silent. So, and the function is smooth as hell. So I'll put this back real quick. So first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a little bit of the grease, right? Oh, this is not my open one. Hold on a second. There we are. So we're gonna take our grease. I just poke a little hole with like a needle or something so you can apply it nice and evenly. And around this part right here, the little shiny part, there's like a lip. That's the actual part that is allowing it to spin. I'm just gonna put a small line across. Not anything too crazy. You don't want to do too much. As you can see, just a small line across that area, right? Then I'm gonna take, I use Hops Elite Gun Oil right here. There's a better brand or one that you use it. I don't really care. And we're just gonna kind of put a couple drops around. There we go. Make sure to get in here too. Awesome. Now once that's done, you can just put that down and let it do its thing. Next thing you're gonna wanna do is take your bolt carrier group, or your carrier, and then take the actual bottle, because the needle nose is gonna take too long, and just put some lines over it. There we go. And again, with you can just rub it around with your hands, so don't really worry about it. You don't want too much, you don't want too little. You want the whole thing kind of nice and lubricated. Next thing you're gonna wanna do, right here and here, there's a slide. This is where the high wear point is. As you can see, the coating is kind of coming off at these points. I just take a little dollop, not a lot. Again, you don't want to put too much of this stuff. And I just put it on those high wear points, right? There we go. That's all. Again, you can do down here a little bit. You don't need a lot. And this part is not necessary. Understand that. This is not necessary. You can just do the oil. This is just something I do to make my guns last a little bit longer. And again, if it's a good gun, it'll outlast you. So there we go. That's all good. We're gonna put that down. Oh, last thing, my bad, real quick. Down in the bolt, where the bolt actually sits, right? We're just gonna put a couple circles around in that area, right? Now, next thing you're gonna wanna do, lube up this little pin. Make sure that's all good. Same thing with this guy. Just a little bit. You can honestly just put the oil on there with your hands, it's fine. Now, reassembly, super easy. I'm gonna make this as simple as possible. First thing you do, take your bolt carrier group, or your bolt, my bad, stick it in, give it a couple spins, make sure it can spin on its own freely, right? Then, see these two ports right here, right? With the indent, you wanna make sure that the pin to actually eject the casing is faced towards this groove. So towards you, right? If you're holding it like this. Next thing you're gonna wanna do, at the top right here, right? You see how if the bolt closes, there's a little hole right there, right? We're gonna take that pin and stick it in there. Something you can do to make sure that this gets worn properly is take a pin or a punch and put a little dot on there. I'm not gonna do it right now, but on my other ones, I do have a dot on the top, right? So I make sure every time I put a pin in, right, that the wear is going to be the same. So we're going to line this up, drop this in, right, and then you're going to turn it 90 degrees, right? Next thing, take your actual pin, drop it in, right, from the top, as you can see there, and it's going to slide all the way down to the bottom, right? If you didn't turn this in, right, the pin will not go in, okay? So now that your pin is moving back and forth, as you can see, we're going to take the actual pin that holds it and make sure that everything is compressed. This is down, right? And we're just going to slide it in. There we go, to this little hole on the other side. Next thing you're going to want to do, just make sure it's all good. Something that you can do to check if your bolt carrier group is good and the rings are good inside. Extend it and place it on top, right? And if it falls, the rings are no good. But if it stays up like it's doing right now, bolt carrier group, those pins are still good in there. So I'm just going to lube up a little bit, a couple more spots, right? There we go. And that's how to clean a bolt carrier group. Again, it might not be the best way, but in my opinion, and how I've been running my guns, it works. So yeah, have a good day, guys. Don't overcomplicate this. Try to get it as quickly as possible. It's not like a crazy thing, but just make sure that you're paying attention to the details and whatnot. But yeah, have a good day, guys.